Yo, it's DTSS podcast. In other words, don't take shit serious, because we don't. It's your host, Shelly Goldberg. To my right, we have
the former host, the least popular host, Taylik Nelson, aka Leak. Yeah.
You alright, bro?
No.
Hey, yo, man. And to my left, we have...
It's your boy, Shahiem the Dream. How y'all doing?
Alright, so today, Shahiem actually came to us with a topic. So, Shahiem, break it down, man. What's the topic, man?
Yeah, what you got, cuz?
So, today, I wanted to talk about, like, public opinions on everything and, like, how everything used to be back then and how it is with us nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we saying, like, an old head versus new head situation on top of...
Well, you trying to talk about how public opinion changed over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how public opinions... Like, what specifically... Like, you want to talk about, like,
okay, like for instance, I wanted to talk about how music taste used to be, for one, with how it is now with us versus how it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, you know how it was, like when rap first came to the scene, everybody was looking at it like, you know, jungle music,
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't messed with until later on. Because now everybody messes with it. But then let's talk about, like, okay, that's something that was more pre-established and sitting there, let's say before the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Rock music, pop music. Like, for instance, pop. Even pop is still heavy now, but it's kind of ridiculed in the public depending on who's singing it. Like, for instance, nobody's messing with Doja Cat at the moment.
Nah, it's because she didn't put her boobs out. Now keep it in buck. People, her fan turned off because she didn't have her boobs out.
She made a promise to the fans and she didn't.
I would never
go through.
I'm not a simp, so that's y'all niggas.
How y'all feel about how, like, music changed over time?
You talk about public opinions?
Yeah.
Nah, most of that was mostly because it's just like you were saying before, the older crowd affected it, because that's mostly the public opinion that is mostly older crowd. Like, for example, with rap per se, like back in the day, like rap wasn't seen as like anti-establishment until like the NWA and like all these other until gangster rap was a thing. So once they introduced gangster rap, once they put more like reality in that, because the old rap they used to be talking about anything.
Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah, they was just rapping.
Yes,
they was just rapping. They was just making regular song like Run DMX. Now Run DMX, they were saying
Run DMX.
Run DMX. Oh my god. Run DMC. Oh my god.
Y'all know what he meant.
No, my
people
god.
know what he meant. People know what he meant.
I don't know why DMX went on the brain, but
I'm sorry. It's like, nah, let me
nah. It's shit like that until it was like anti-establishment, like anti-society and shit. Once they add that to it, that when it become a problem. Like once they like, oh, we don't fuck with how the public view so and so that's when it become a problem. Like for example, it's just, not just rap music. You were talking about rock music too. Rock music is like, it was like America back in the 80s. They were purely Christian. So everybody, like everything was pretty much Christian. Like even our Pledge of Allegiance got God in the name, got God in the title, God bless America, all that, blah, blah, blah. And like a lot of rock music was talking about the devil, fucking.
I hear voices in my head.
Oh no, don't do that.
Ew. Talk about thugs and shit. And like, so it's all that dark crap that like people want to talk about, but they don't have like a platform to talk about. So they use the rock music, and other people that use gangster music.
Shoot, music was the platform, because that's the easiest way to get to people, like through music. Everybody listens to
back in the day, but this was a problem. But now the public opinion changed, because a lot of young people back in the day is the old people now. You feel me? So like back in the day, rock music was like the devil music, but now you look at now the generation, like the 40+ year olds say, oh, AB, oh, boo, oof. AC/DC, right? They were like, that's really good music, or like, or like all these other rock, like Motley Crue, like stuff like that.
The
like,
music back then was better than the music now.
They like the music. You don't even need to go anti society and stuff. Back in the way back, they didn't like Elvis. A lot of people didn't like Elvis because in the back in the day they used to cut off the top part. I mean the bottom part of his legs because they didn't like how he used to shake his hips. I'm dead ass. Look that up. They didn't like Elvis because they said, oh, the way he was moving his hips was too sexual.
For the music videos and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was like he was too sexual, and they just didn't like that. That was just the public, the older crowd didn't like that. But now they say that real music. So it's just like most people real music will always change because that generation that didn't. Because that generation gonna be gone, and the new generation that fucked with it gonna still fuck with it now, 20 years later. That's how
How you feel about how it is with new music, Shell?
Well, when you go into my playlist of music, I mostly have old '90s rap and stuff, and I still have the Gunna and the Lil Uzi and stuff like that, Future. But if we're gonna go off of how old people view it, back then they were putting out proper content. They were spitting lyrics.
So new now content ain't proper to you?
Now it's everything is F this girl or do this or drugs, Molly, all this stuff. Back then it was
you don't care about the WAP?
We're not doing WAP again. We are not doing it again. But back then, it was always on some positive stuff, or fight the power, or F the police, like League was saying, NWA. That's what they were trying to preach. Now it's we're preaching drugs and sex and violence, and it's there's a huge difference. That's why some the older heads man, the music went down because they were actually speaking a message. Now it's just
I got something to say.
I mean, this is still a message though.
No, I got something to say to that too. I wouldn't say all they be saying. They be you ever heard that rose tinted glasses thing? People be always got to think about the positive thing with they past instead of they don't even see the negative part. Their part of music was it was way more sexual back then than it is now. They were literally a song. Literally, most of the lyrics was just pop that pussy.
That's too Live Crew. That's too Live Crew though. They were just like that. They just were so explicit, bro.
And that was popular. That was very popular
because people wanted to hear that.
Yes, well, that still was.
And it also depends on where you are too, though. They were
you could pop that pussy anywhere.
Hey, okay, but yeah, I mean that's just how it is. So, yeah.
Well, you were talking about now music, public opinion will always change. It's just people grow and people change, and the people who mostly listen to music nowadays usually get younger and younger and younger. So and the new artist is always younger and younger and younger. So they usually cater to that audience. They don't really cater to the older crowd like they used to, Megan and stuff. Megan crowd is young women and young guys too if you into that. But it's mostly the young crowd. You don't really hear her talking about taxes like that. I don't know what old people do. Walks.
Another one I have is hobbies, because when I think about it, I was do people even really have hobbies anymore? Because if you think about it, the majority of people don't have a hobby, or what is considered the biggest hobby is probably either games.
No, it's just that people turn their hobbies into jobs nowadays because it's easier to make money nowadays than it used to be. You can with social media and the internet. For example, somebody's hobby may be taking pictures and now they're a model and shit. Or photographer, yeah. Or they hobby with playing video games, but now they're a video game tester. Or they do they play video games on Twitch or YouTube. That's
streamers.
Yeah. So most people hobbies or sit watching anime, for example. You could make that into money. You could do anime reviews on YouTube.
People do reacts on YouTube.
Yeah, you could do that.
I still don't understand how people watch it. I'm being dead ass. I don't understand how.
Because it make them feel less lonely.
That's what came across my head, because I was like, so dang, you're just gonna sit there
and
watching someone watch a video. There's people that make reactions to reaction videos of those reactions. Like, how can you do that and still get enjoyed out of it?
Because I want to see the reaction. I want to see the reaction.
You better off just watching.
I wonder how many people out there really look at reaction videos of reaction videos.
Don't worry, DTSS about to have a reaction channel.
Oh no!
Imagine.
Oh no!
Coming soon. DTS.
No.
DTSS reacts.
No.
If we're gonna sell out, that's just gonna have to be cool.
Nah, that's just. Yeah, we're gonna sell out immediately, man. Like. DTSS reactions. Y'all ain't fucking with it? That's his solo, man. So keep the name.
But yeah, in terms of hobbies, you know, back then the hobbies. I mean, people still have these hobbies now, though, like drawing and making music, or I'm trying to think of other hobbies that people do. I guess reading and stuff like that.
Walking.
Yeah, a nice little exercise and stuff. But working out. That's a nice little hobby. Those are good hobbies. Bad hobbies? What could we say is a bad hobby?
I mean, it all depends.
Talk about public opinion.
It all depends on your own view of like what would be considered a bad hobby. Because for a bad hobby to be considered by everyone, I don't know.
Nah, hit the thing. It's like a two-way street, right? A bad hobby for you might be a good hobby for somebody else. Like, for example, you was just talking about what was it? Oh, what were you saying? Working out? Like, for example, a lot of people just can't work out, period. Like, they want to, but they just can't. And it's just like, I can't do it. It sucks. He say working out sucks. So that might be a bad hobby for him. But for somebody else, like a gym freak, so that might be a tough hobby. That's something they probably do every day.
6 days a week.
Double sessions. Every day type shit. But other people, it's just like, no.
With this next one, it actually jumps into what we just talked about, which was like, how does everybody feel about like the hustle versus how it is then, and versus how it was before and how it is now. Because like, for instance, when it comes to a hobby, nowadays people don't see it as a hobby no more. You gotta get that money quick. You out here fishing, you better make sure that you go sell those fish. You gonna have a conversation with somebody, you gotta make sure that conversation ends with you somehow getting money. Well, how y'all feel about that?
Time is money.
Yeah, time is money, B.
Well, like some people like don't like to do hobbies. Like you saying, you don't want to have hobbies because they like, oh, if I got a hobby, I wasted my time. I could be making this money and shit. That's how some people feel. But sometimes you need a break from that.
From reality, bro.
Sometimes you do need a break from reality, and hobbies do help. And people just be like, nah, I gotta be on that forever grind. Then you feel bad when the grind don't really work.
That's actually when the switch happened, because before hobbies were used to relax your mind, get you away from reality for a bit. But now it's like, nah, I need to stay grinding, need to get that money. That's where hobbies, like, I don't have time for it.
Because that's what the public want you to do. They want you to grind. Like no one gonna wait for you. You gotta
get it, go out and get it.
You gotta get that shit. You feel?
Because like the hustle nowadays, what was it? You have somebody come up to you and be like, "Yo, buy these Airheads 2 for $5."
Yo, so there was this one time we were coming home, and this guy was selling fruit roll-ups.
I got you with this.
He had the fruit roll-ups. Yo, tell him what he said. What he said.
All right, so we was just coming from school, right? So we were going to the parking lot, and this guy had like a box of like fruit roll-up. Now, mind you, these boxes you literally can't buy from the store. That means he literally went to like a 7-Eleven, took that whole thing and dipped. He had it and was selling for like 2 for $5 for studio time.
Yeah, like, yo, who you fooling, bro?
He was selling that shit for studio time.
Maybe he was using it for studio time, but who knows, man? It just looks sketchy. Like, you're on the corner, yo, you trying to support me real quick? Yo, you trying to buy like 2 little Airheads or so I'm like, come on.
Like back then, people used to be like, yo, take this TV, might be broken. Take this stereo, might be broken.
Oh, you talking about Hustle Man?
I mean, the Hustle Man today just sells candy.
Hustle Man, get it how you can, man.
Right. Same with Dante. That nigga home got his ass beat that one time.
Hey, yo. Anyways,
on to the next one. We got kind of falls into with hustle too, because it's like how, like for instance, with hustle you can't really break away from reality nowadays. Everyone's always got to make that money, so it's like now it's on to like public appearance, because like nowadays, I mean, public appearance I feel always had a factor.
Yeah, always.
But versus how it was before to how it is now, I feel like the price of it has changed.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like what?
Like you can see a video on YouTube of like some kids at like, let's say, a closed meetup, and then they'll be like, hey yo, from head to toe, $2,000 on a kid that's like 12 years old. Versus you look at like a 12-year-old back then, probably only had like some Champions head to toe sweats for $40.
I mean, back then it was like sweatsuits or like the Adidas sweatsuits. Or,
well, I was saying, yeah, but like I was saying, it's easier to get bread now, so the price
it's gone up.
Went up for a lot of stuff. When you think,
so you gotta spend $2,000.
You don't have to spend that money. That's the thing. Some people care about some people care about their public appearance, and like. So they will buy a T-shirt that's got a little logo on it, Supreme. A white T-shirt with just a stamp on it. People will buy it, and that's like $200. Some people because it make them look like they got bread. They make them look good.
If you look like you get bread, people will look at you like you know, look at you a little different, you know, a little better.
It's like when we used to play football and say like niggas had all the accessory, Mr. Accessory. You used to call niggas like that, Mr.
The
Accessory.
visors, the arm sleeve,
the prima donnas usually.
The Nike socks all the way up, or the Under Armour socks. Yo.
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. You have your socks all the way up. You country. Nah, but like they were all wear that, and when sometimes that go through your head like this, yo, they might be like the star of the team.
Cheeks,
like
buns.
they probably be chips, but like.
Ooh.
Look good, play good. That's how a lot of people feel with that shit. Look
that's
good, play
the
good.
opinion. Like, you know, that's how it is.
So they gotta have all those accessories so they could look good. But most of those niggas was wide receivers, corners, quarterbacks, all the skill players.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Another one I want to jump into is drugs. How it is now versus how it was before.
I still feel like drugs is viewed as like you shouldn't really take it. You know, like it's not really, unless we're talking like weed. People always saying, yo, weed is a like little gateway to escape reality and stuff. But for the most part, people are still pushing no drugs or say no to drugs.
This is simple. Most of the niggas that like listen to this shit, like they definitely know what dare is. Like we all been through dare. Dare didn't do shit. Everybody know that. Let's keep it a buck. We only did dare because we had to, and because we wanted a shirt. We wanted the prize that field we went to. Wanted to go to that park. Like we didn't take dare. No one took dare serious. It was something, man. The only thing we liked about dare is they took us out of class. That's the only thing we really liked about dare, and we really didn't take none of the messages that really was there. We all
because it's like nowadays. A kid would just like pop a pill, but then versus how it used to be back then, they would just like smoke a cigarette.
I'm not even gonna lie though, I feel like the music does have a play into that though, because they're hearing that stuff and it sounds good to them, so therefore they're gonna try to keep up with the artist or live the lifestyle of the artist.
Well, we talking about popping pills and doing cigarettes and shit. Some drugs is more accepted now than it was back then. Like for example, some drugs is less accepted than it was before. Like back in the day, like niggas used to smoke bogeys, Newports on a regular, and they be like, that shit look cool. So all the action heroes used to do that shit. They always look cool. They're like, oh yeah, he's smoking cigarettes. He cool, and that, and like all the like. You look at old movies, the high school student with the leather jacket, and like he be smoking the bogeys, and like, damn, he cool. Or like the cool girl, or back in the day too, when you ever seen those old movies, they had the women with the long ass gloves. They be having that long ass pipe
at the dinner parties and stuff.
That sit like this long ass stick to smoke.
I think it was like a filter or something.
And that's it make them look and that's supposed to make them look fancy. So, but once niggas realize, oh,
It
This
showed
shit
you
give
that
me
status.
cancer. This
Showed you
give
that
me
status.
this shit give me cancer. So I go stop smoking those cancer sticks, or they didn't. People still smoke those, but it's mostly the older crowd that smoke it.
Now it's vape.
Nah, it's Black and Mild.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Nah,
Black and Mild, I think, passed, but the new thing is vape.
Vaping is the new.
I wouldn't say new. Vape was never. I don't think vape is new.
Yeah,
They're getting younger, but they're not new. Like people.
I mean, compared to like how the old heads
so if you,
were,
I feel like if you compare vaping to smoking a Black and Mild to smoking a cigarette, the kids are gonna choose vaping.
Oh yeah, most definitely, because they think
flavors.
Here's the thing with vaping, it's just mostly a misconception. They just think, oh yeah, that ain't compared to the other ones, they ain't gonna do that bad to me, but it's still gonna do. Regardless, smoking anything that not like air is bad for your lungs. Regardless,
Yeah, you're right.
regardless, whatever you inhale that not pure air is bad for your lungs. So it's like it's just whatever you want to do, right? Like. And like, but when I go back to like drugs that like more accepted now, like weed, for example, weed is way more accepted now than it was back then. There niggas that was smoke, like for example, Snoop Dogg new career is basically him being a stoner, a pothead. Everybody, like people know him being a pothead than being a rapper. Most people didn't even know. Like, keep it a buck. Most people don't even listen to Snoop Dogg music.
They just know.
They don't even know how many.
The young crowd.
They don't even know how many albums this nigga got. They said no, he smoke weed every day, and all he do is smoke. That's why he's so skinny. That's all they know. All they know. And every artist right now basically smoke weed. And like it used to be like, oh, this person smoke. This is crazy. But now it's like this person smoke.
But that's regular.
Oh yeah. Like, it's some people sock me with them smoking because I don't do drugs, if y'all believe me or not. So they be like, so it's like some still shock me, but others don't.
Hey yo.
But yeah, but some more accepted than others.
I feel like if we're going back, let's go back to the DARE thing. I feel like they didn't really take the time to really teach the kids. Like they just told us about the different drugs and how they're bad, but I feel
like with the DARE thing, it's not that they didn't teach us. No one cared.
Or maybe they didn't put it in a way that we could care about it.
Hey yo.
Or they didn't put it in a way for us to make us care about it as much, like to make it serious.
For instance, how everyone feel about weed nowadays. Mm-hmm. If let's say this year a kid is learning about DARE, and in that DARE class they're telling them that weed is bad. With the background knowledge that we have nowadays, you're just gonna look at the person and be like, weed is bad, weed is bad, weed is that bad.
Nah, to be fair, with DARE, the problem with DARE, they made every situation black and white. Cause that's the thing.
Because look at it like this. People used to take, I wouldn't say shrooms, psychedelics. I'll just put it like that. People used to take psychedelics back then in like the 70s and 80s for therapy. Mm-hmm. But then it's now outlawed.
Therapy.
It used to be prescribed, but now it doesn't.
Well, some of them was like cocaine used to be. Mm-hmm. I'm dead ass like this cocaine. They used to like this. Say, yo, you got cocaine, a migraine. You got a migraine. Yo, take this cocaine. You be alright.
Back then, it used to be prescribed, but then because of like overuse and all that, the times have changed.
Oh, you got addicted?
For instance,
take more cocaine.
I mean, people are still going to jail for weed, sadly. But now they're trying to fix the whole situation to get people out of jail for going in on a weed charge.
They're trying to make it legal too.
And they're trying to make it legal. And what's even crazier is that the people. What's crazier about it is that the people that made the weed laws and putting people in jail for those weed laws are now making weed legal and profiting off of it. That's crazy, right there.
Yo, stop! If you can't make money, why have it? Come on,
bro. That's what they're trying to push nowadays, bro. You gotta get the bread.
Yo, they can't make money off of it. It's a problem. Come on, cause this is America. Capitalism.
Hey, yo, man.
Fuck on,
man. Since we're on DARE, I guess you could say the final one or the next one I wanted to talk about is schooling. Mm-hmm. Because of how it is now versus how it was before. Like, for instance, back then, we go to school or whatever, we graduate high school, it's like, nah, directly to college. You gotta do something. You ain't doing that, you ain't doing shit with your life. Nowadays, kids hear that, they don't really care regardless. They be like, oh, word, I guess you just don't think I don't do shit with my life. Cause like nowadays it seemed as if like it doesn't really have meaning anymore.
No, my fault.
Nah, go.
No, I was gonna say I feel like the reason kids might look at it because now there's more
no holes still.
There's more different. There's like different ways to make bread now besides having to go to college. Yes, college, having the degree and stuff, it looks nice and it allows you to get your foot in the door. But like for example, you could do podcasting, making videos, vlogging, all that stuff, and make bread. Or people still do the sports route, but for the most part, there's different ways to get your bread. And on top of it, you could do stuff that you like. Unless
I mean, you can still go to school for something you like.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, like I was like, to be fair, like I said before, easier to make money now back than it was back in the day. Ryan Toys, literally, he made a boatload of money last year, like $20 million, and he like 7.
Just reviewing toys. You don't have to, because back in the day, you need school to really go somewhere, because it was like some of these professions that like common now, like being famous on like an actor or something like that, or like a model, all that was like or like having a famous vlog or something, right? Was not common back in the day. So like since it's more common now, so people could do that and make bread off of it. Or publish a book, and right?
On top of the technology too.
Technology got better, so it helped people out with getting more money. Back in the day, though,
back then there was like you had, what was it, 3 choices? You could either be a doctor, a lawyer, or what was the third one?
Those are the main professions.
Those are the professions you wanted to tell the teacher so you won't get clowned. Because the teacher used to clown you.
Was it doctor, lawyer, and teacher?
It was like was like firefighter, cop, teacher. Fucking lawyer, doctor, all this thing you have to go to school for. But like no kid really wanted to do that, except some kids. But some kids was like they didn't want to do none of that. They really wanted to be a football player. They wanted to be an actor. They wanted to be like all the non-guaranteed jobs. Cause teacher, I ain't saying those jobs is guaranteed, cause that's a lot of schooling and not a lot of people built for it. But like those jobs was like guaranteed. They won't look down on you. Jobs, you feel me? Like you told somebody you a doctor, and like they won't look it down on you. You're like,
oh, doctor,
you
nice.
make hella money. You smart. They automatically presume that. If you saying you an actor, oh, this nigga fucking homeless. He probably living in his car. He probably. I never seen this nigga on TV. I never seen this nigga on
How's the
the
acting
movies.
going?
How the acting? Yeah, they be like, how the acting going? Like, you got in the roles lately? Or they were like, Marlon. Ooh, Marlon. What you doing? Fucking Playboy shit? Like since they used to just look down on you. But those jobs, no one will look down on you because those are high paying, and
I feel like
outside the teachers, high paying jobs.
I feel like at the end of the day now is trying to do things that make you happy as opposed to what society wants you to do or what society thinks looks good. It's more about doing what makes you happy now as opposed to just, like I said, society.
Yeah, to keep it above, people care about public, like what the public think about you less now than they used to, but they still got, it's still sadly, like, they still got thin skin, you feel me? Like, they don't care as much, but it still hurt them a lot. Like,
it's weird. It's weird how it is now in this generation. Like,
it's a weird.
We don't paradox. Care, but we care.
Because nowadays I feel like if you try to voice your own opinion to try to like get it to everybody, the reception is not good sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you don't got like like you were saying before, like you don't got like a public agree opinion. Like, it's some topics like we would never talk about on this podcast because shit, Sheldon.
Hey, yo, don't do that to me, bro.
You just can't talk about it because Sheldon's opinion is.
Yo, listen, bro. Don't listen to that.
God damn.
Don't listen to that. They're capping. It's all lies. Okay.
Oh, come on.
I'm easy going.
Nah.
With certain topics.
Easy going already.
Easy going. Easy going. Easy going.
We can't do that, bro. But
yeah,
is there anything else y'all want to add to this? Or
No,
y'all good.
I just feel like don't let the public, affect what you want to do. Don't let the old heads, or how you guys want to call it, the old heads or the older crowd.
As long as you happy, man, do you. It doesn't really matter what me, Sheldon, Shahiem.
Because at the end of the day, we don't take shit serious. As simple as that, bro. You see the podcast, man.
Yeah, just do you. You feel me?
Just do it. No Nike.
Oh fuck.
No, that wasn't good.
No,
That wasn't good.
we're not even sponsored. No, don't give them no clout.
Yo, that wasn't good.
Hell no.
That wasn't good. No.
Hell no. You should have said something about Roselle golf or something.
All right, so it's your host, man. It's been fun. Hope you guys took something from that. It's your boy Shelly Goldberg.
Bleak.
It's your boy Shar.
And peace out, man.